So today I joined the ranks of Chat GPT for the very first time. And the reason behind that is so I am about to embark on a campaign to promote my book. And I'm doing some Facebook ads. So I want to generate some images that I can use for my Facebook ads and on other platforms on social media. As you can see behind me, um, there's an image on screen. I'm going to show you all of the images that I've done today, and I've spent the entire day doing this, trying to come up with some different ideas, um, using some of the characters that are in the book and some kind of more generic kind of environments as well. So it's a zombie apocalypse book. It's called The Half Dead. What I want you to do, please, is let me know in the comments which of the images that I'm going to show you like the best, which images that you think would work in an ad for my book, and which ones kind of appeal to you, which ones would make you potentially buy that book. Just so let me know in the comments. I'm going to talk you through every image that I've created and all the different kind of things and restrictions that bloody Chat GPT was putting on us. So I had a little kind of fight with them to try and get the images that I wanted, because it was keep telling me, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that. Anyway, let me take you through all of the images that I've done today. So the first thing I asked Chat GPT to do was to create an ad, a generic ad for a zombie apocalypse book that I'd written. I didn't put any details into it. I just let it do its own thing, and it came up with these two images. I absolutely love this image, but it's got nothing to do with my book. So I thought, oh, this is the first image that I've ever created myself. So I thought, oh, this is absolutely fantastic. I love that. This was the second one. I thought, well, I love that as well. So I wanted like a 1080 by 1080 image. So it cropped it to kind of that, but it completely changed the image as well. Loved absolutely both of them. So then I started doing my own thing. So this was the first image that I asked it to do that specifically has characters from my book. This depicts a failed robbery. So the first book is called The Heist, and it starts off when the robbery is going down and the zombie apocalypse is breaking out. So that's what I asked it to do. This was like the free version. I had to subscribe to kind of the lowest cost version to be able to do some further images, because it was saying, oh, you've done too many today, blah, blah, blah. You'll have to kind of subscribe. So I subscribed to it. It was like £10 a month or something. And it was allowing me to do this image with the guns. But as soon as I subscribed to it, it then stopped me from doing images with guns, any images of violence. It was just putting all these restrictions on us as well. So that was the first one, which I thought was, it's okay. Then I created this one. So this is a mother and daughter who are caught up in the zombie apocalypse. They're running away from the zombies, but the zombies are kind of, if you look at the zombies in the background, they're very slow moving. So I then asked it to generate, alter the image so the zombies were running, and it wouldn't allow me to do it. One thing I've noticed, if you look at the hands in the middle of the screen there, where the mother's holding the daughter, for some reason AI just has a problem doing human hands, and that looks, can't even make out what the hell that's supposed to be, but it's like a knotted kind of twist of hands together. So I couldn't really use that one, and it wouldn't let me alter it. It wouldn't let us do anything else with that image once it had generated it. So I then asked it to do an alternative one, and it came up with this, which was less menacing. It didn't really want to show females in a situation where they were put in danger. It wouldn't allow us to do that, so it had to do this more tame version. It's not too bad. Then I asked it kind of set the two girls kind of further back in the screen so we saw a bit more of them. And then I asked them to put them even further back, so it came up with this third image. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. It doesn't quite depict what I wanted, but it's the best that it would kind of give us. So in the second book, there's other characters that come into it, one of which is this dwarf in the middle, and that's his mother on the right-hand side. Then we got like three main characters who were in book one. This is like kind of book two. It just looks very tame. They're not frightened at all. There's kind of zombies walking in behind them, but it just looks really kind of as if they're just posing for a picture. So I asked Chat GPT to put them further back in the frame, remove the dwarf's kind of vest that he had on. I don't know why they put like a military vest on him, but anyway, I asked to take that off. Then I asked to put the dwarf in a setting by himself, and for some reason they gave me baseball bat for the guy, which I never asked for. So that looks like something out of The Walking Dead. Got Negan's bat. So I ran with that, and I said, well, can you put him further back in the image because he looks too close up to the image. So because these images, if I want to use them, I want to have room for it to put some text in there. So I sent him to the back a little bit further. It's not exactly what I want, but I could probably use it. Then I was thinking about another main character who is in the story that I'm actually writing at the moment. So I haven't published this story, but it's about it's one of the main characters from book one, which kind of has her own story later on. So I'm basically writing that at the moment. I wanted her to have a gun, but it wouldn't allow me to have a gun. And I thought this image was far too close up. So I asked her to kind of, well, actually at first, I wanted a full sleeve of that tattoo on the arm, the one of the lion. So I asked her to change that, which it did. And then I asked her to put this character who's called Paula further back so we could see more of her. And then for some reason, it actually put a gun in her hand, or which looks like a gun, I think. Can't tell if it is a gun, but looks like a gun that they've put in her hand, even though when I asked for the gun, it wouldn't allow me to have a gun. But that's a better image. Now, the character behind is a main zombie that comes into the story with this particular character in the books that I'm writing at the moment. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I'll probably use this for a campaign further down the line once I release the next books, or I kind of maybe use something very similar to this. But I think I quite like that, to be honest. So that main zombie in the background, I wanted to do something just specifically with her. So I asked for a particular zombie that wouldn't create this zombie for me because I was using the word zombie. So it suggested using the word feral woman. So that's what I asked for, and this is what it gave us. I wanted bloodshot eyes. It wouldn't give me bloodshot eyes because it was too bloody scary. So this is the image that I got, which just looks more, I don't know if it just looks more like just a dirty woman than a zombie. Again, I thought it was far too close because I want to put some text on that image as well. So I wanted more room for the text. So I asked for the woman to be further back, but I also wanted it in a woodland setting as well. So this is the image that I got. I still think she was far too close. So I then asked for her to be further back. So we saw like more of her in like a 3/4 length. But then because she's centered right in the middle of the image, I then asked for her to put it onto the left-hand side of the image. And this is what I ended up with. So I could use that. That's very nice. I love it. Then I asked to put the zombie kind of further back, but in the center of the screen of the image. And it came up with this, which again is great, but I wanted her right in the back in the distance. So it then gave me this one, which is good as well. I quite like that. And then I was wanting something that was there's another character who is going to be she was in book one, but she's going to have her own story further down the line. So I was just thinking about that, and I thought I'd generate some images. So it came up with this image. My first impressions of that is that the building, the cityscape is just far too much destruction in that. So I wanted less destruction. But the knife looks great. It's a weapon in itself, but it wouldn't allow me to put a gun in her hand in replace of that knife. So I asked it again. It said it would put the weapon in her hand if there was no zombies in the image. So it gave me this particular image. if you look at the hand just doesn't look like it's holding the gun properly. So I asked for that to be adjusted. It gave me that image with the gun further down back, which looks more natural, her holding that. But then I wasn't happy with the total destruction of the city because that looks more like an American city. So I asked for it to be a UK city. So it gave me London for some reason. But part of my story is set in London, so that's fine. And I wanted it to be more like a riot had taken place. So there was just the buildings were still intact, but there was like just debris and stuff all over the place. So they've given me this particular image, which I think is fine. I could use that probably. So this is one of the first attempts actually at creating this female zombie. And it gave me three examples or three suggestions, and I said, yeah, generate that, but then put all the three images in as one image. When I asked for them to be separated, it wouldn't separate them. And then I asked for just for the female zombie to be on in the image, without the red kind of glowing eyes, which I didn't really want. I wanted bloodshot eyes, but it wouldn't give me bloodshot eyes, so it gave me that instead. And then it came up with the original, like the first image that I showed you of the zombie woman, which she looks less like a zombie in this image. And but I could probably crop this image to use that somehow, maybe. Potentially I could even use that as an image as a whole. Then I was asking for zombies to be outside of a window trying to get in. It wouldn't generate the image if the zombies were trying to get in to get to the person in there. So what they said was just have the zombie placing its hands on the window, and it just looks like it's more like the zombie's just looking through the window. So it looks a bit tame, but that's the only thing it would give me. I was quite happy with that actually, but I didn't want the guy in the foreground. I wanted a female character, so I asked it to change that and put a female character in with long blonde hair because I've got a teenage girl who's one of the main characters, so I've decided to put her in the image instead, which looks absolutely great. So I can put text that on the side of that, and that will, I could use that as an ad. Right, so what do you think? Do you like any of those images? Would any of those images make you buy a book? Obviously, there's no text net on there at the minute, because I have to put all the kind of, all that kind of stuff on, which will also help attract people to want to buy the book. So, but just looking at any of those images, which ones do you like? Which ones do you think would be great in an advert for my zombie apocalypse book? Let me know in the comments, please.